Hello Internet, this is Billy Wong from FosPower. Today we're going to do an FAQ video about this solar radio. The first question we get a lot is about how long does it take to recharge this unit through the solar panel. Now this solar panel is kind of small, so it only takes about 15 milliamp of input to recharge this unit. If using the solar panel, it would take about days to actually recharge the unit. So the actual function of the solar panel is actually to slow down the power dissipation of the unit and not so much to recharge the unit. To recharge the unit properly, the best way I recommend is to use the micro USB port on the back of the unit here. Make sure you have the right cable. This port is not for recharge, but this port is. And then also the hand crank. So, like that. All right, move on to question number 2. Why isn't my phone charging even after I plug in the cable? So guys, when you plug in the cable, make sure you choose the right cable, of course, the first thing. And then second thing is make sure it's plugged into the right direction. So this is the port that charges your phone or your devices. And then after that, you need to go to the underside of the unit and make sure that it's switched to the very bottom position, which shows the lightning and the phone symbol. Once you switch that, then you're good to go. All right, let's move on to the third question. What is the SOS switch on the underside of the unit, and how do you turn on the emergency flasher? Does it actually send any SOS signal? So this is the SOS button on the underside of the unit. So when you do that, it does not actually send any SOS signal to any first responders. All right, let's move on to question number 4. Does the radio alert me when there's an emergency weather broadcast? So yes, you will have to make sure that you switch it to weather band and turn on your volume and tune to your local channel. Then you should be good. Let's move on to question number 5. Is there a way to manually turn on or off the reading light? The answer is actually no. The reading light is right here, actually underneath the solar panel. So to turn it on, you just flip the panel, and then turn it off, you just flip the panel back into its position, then it will be turned off. All right, let's move on to question number 6. How do I know when the radio is fully charged? So a lot of people actually miss this one. I'm going to show you. I'm going to charge the unit through the micro USB port, and as you can see, there is a indicator right here. If it's showing red, that means it's charging the unit. When it's fully charged, it will turn green. And this indicator is not. Thanks for watching.
Whatever happens, it's really nice to stay plugged in and connected, but plugged in doesn't always work. Sometimes you don't have electricity. Enter this. This is the Eton FRX3 Plus Red Cross Emergency Weather Radio, and it's got a lot of stuff packed into a design that has some pluses but has some minuses. But let's go through the feature set first. So first off, it has AM, FM, and weather radio, and I'm going to go ahead and turn it on. And we're going to start with the weather report. That leads to the whole discussion of power and this radio, and this is interesting. So it has on the top, perhaps the most obvious feature, is it has a solar panel. Now, it's a very small solar panel, and it needs to be in actual direct sunlight. So going through your window, having a sunny spot on the floor, that's not as good as putting it outside. If you have it in direct sunlight, it can fully charge the lithium-ion battery that's in the back. It can do a full charge in 10 hours of sunlight. And that's great, because that means that if you leave it out during the day, then you actually have this as a resource all night. That's important. Now, you can plug it into the wall, and on the back, there is this rubber unit that comes off and gives you access to a bunch of ports, one of which is
Hi, welcome to Awkward Hamster. Today I'll be viewing this RunningSnail multi-purpose hand crank radio, models MD-090. And this one costs roughly $25, well, between $25 and $26 on Amazon. Here's the unit, it's got an adjustable wrist strap and also a carabiner. And the top over here, this is the solar panel for charging the built-in battery. And right over here, there's tune, and then there's the little battery indicator. Currently, the red LED is illuminated. That just means that this one's currently charging the built-in battery. If I were to cover this up completely, the LED light will extinguish. And since we're talking about the solar panel over here, right on the back of it, well, this is the 4 LED reading light. Close this off. This button right on top, this is the LED flashlight. And I can turn this dial to make it like a spot. It will shine on a specific spot. So it's like it's basically zooming in on the light. This LED flashlight is not the strongest I've seen, nor is it the weakest. For example, if you've seen my review recently about the flashlights built into battery banks, those are very weak. This one at least is a lot more practical. Some of the other information on top over here, for AM, we got the different kilohertz, megahertz for the FM, and also the weather band. And to switch between the different bands, currently I can switch it to weather, for example, and just turn it on. When it tunes to a channel that can at least hear some audio, gain some audio clarity, the green LED will illuminate right by this tune over here. And of course, there's also AM too. I currently have this off. Thanks for watching Awkward Hamster. Bye.
What's happening, Panda Nation? Peter Von Panda here. But if you want to stay connected to the world, have the tools to navigate around, this is a emergency radio here, but it's got a lot of really cool features. It's the latest generation of this. It comes with a micro USB cable here. It comes with a 3.5mm cable right there. Comes with a little instruction booklet, which is good, but I think I'm gonna just try to figure it out on my own. First of all, it's got a great little compact design. It's kind of triangular. It's plastic construction, so it's very light, but you can see here that everything about this is just kind of cool looking. First of all, this handle here pivots, so you can move it out of the way, and you have a nice little handle to grab it. And what I want to show you on this side, there is a little crystalline solar cell right there. So that will charge up the battery if you don't have power. And a lot of times if you're on the road, if you are away from home, maybe you are in temporary housing and you don't have power, you can charge it off the sunlight. In fact, if I flip it around here, what you might be able to see, there is a little battery indicator right there. And if I catch the light on it, you can see that battery indicator is lit up. So it's actually charging. Now, if I move it away from the light, you can see no more light hitting the solar panel, and that battery isn't charging. So that's really cool. It's a really nice passive way to charge up the battery. But if we flip it over here on the bottom, we have another way to charge it. Maybe it's kind of dark where you are, kind of overcast like it is today on the top of the mountain. Right here, flush with the body, is a handle that flips out like this, and this is a crank dynamo generator. So if I crank it like this, and what you can see is that little battery light, as I crank it, will go on too. So it will actually charge up the battery as well. So even if you've been letting this sit around, it's been in your bug out bag, it's been in the trunk of your car, the battery's completely dead, don't worry, a little elbow grease will power this little bad boy back up. The other thing that's really cool about this is that on this side right here, we have a flashlight. And the power button for it is right up here on the top, this little rubberized button. So if I hit that, we have a flashlight that we can use to navigate around in the darkness. So again, a really great little tool. On the opposite side here, we have a little rubber cover. And what you can see here is if I pull this up, so that'll keep out dust, debris, and water, it's not expensive. So if you haven't done a lot of prep yet, I would suggest picking up one of these.
Hello and welcome to Radio Waves by Todderbert. Today for review, I have the Kaito Voyager KA500. It's an AM/FM shortwave weather band emergency radio. I've been looking at this radio for quite a while. We'll go over the features here. On the front, let's show you the radio. There it is, the Voyager KA500 in yellow. I love the yellow, it's just a cool looking color. Plus it's a color you're going to notice in an emergency. Okay, let's go over some dimensions. 8 inches long, 5 inches high, and a depth of 2.5 inches. So features, we'll start with the left-hand side. We have the dynamo. Pretty simple fare. Crank like crazy for a few minutes of radio. I'd rather just put batteries in if I had some batteries. But if you didn't, you have that, which is awesome. Okay, front of the radio, we have Voyager. Love that. It looks cool on the yellow and black. Just looks awesome together. Speaker measures about 2¼ inches. Up here we got some different lights. That's your battery indicator, high, low. Green is good, low is bad, red is bad. So definitely tells you what your battery level is and your internal battery. And then here's a tuning light. This is really bright red, so you're going to see that in a moment. And then it turns green when it's charging. Okay guys, take care. I appreciate you watching. Bye-bye.